We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome. My name is Natalia. Thanks for tuning in today. Today's workout is going to be total body weight. You won't need any equipment. I'll be showing a lot of different progressions. Everything's at your own pace, of course. I'll show harder progressions, and then you can also show your progressions. Please do whatever in your regular routine. Don't try new movements out that you haven't tried before. That's all up to you. But we're going to go ahead and start in a standing position. Feel free to start turning your music on. From our standing position, we'll have our squat stance, toes turning out, heels under hips. We'll reach for the sky, and then hinging at the hips, pull the chest down, pull the hips down, and then lift the chest up. Reaching, standing, our bootstrap stretches, sitting the hips. We're going to go for a couple reps. You can work out with or without shoes, up to you. But double check the heels are heavy, the feet are flat. Looking for a tall chest when you stand. A couple more reps. Squeezing the glutes at the top. Maybe reaching the thumbs back a little further. On this next one, let's pause at the bottom. We're just going to rock side to side, trying to keep the feet flat as we rock side to side, flossing into hips. Pausing. Bring the arms up. We'll stand it up. Shaking it out, shaking it out. 2 jumping jacks. Reaching for the sky, coming together. I live on the 2nd floor, so I'm going to modify, reaching. If you're able to jump, feel free to do regular jumping jacks. Otherwise, you can modify tapping the toes out. Reach the arms up, bring the shoulders back. A couple more seconds. If you have any knee injuries, any ankle injuries, avoid any jumping movements we do today. Or listen to your body. Do one more. Coming back to center, we can shake out the arms. Finding a spot on the floor, still reaching for the sky, and then we'll fold at the hips for inchworms. Walk the hands forward for your push-up, knees or toes. Walking the hands back towards the feet, so feet stay in one spot. To modify, knees can be on the ground. Double check the belly is tight. Walking the hands as close to the feet as you can. In my push-up when I'm on the floor, my hands line up with my chest. My shoulders are all the way down and back. Exhale as you press. Really important, keep the palms flat as you press on your push-up. We'll do a couple more reps. Looking for a stretch into the hamstrings, also warming up through the chest. Or toes, and your own pace. Feel free to pick up the pace if you're a more active person at any time. Feel free to slow it down if you're pretty new to working out or it's been a while. One more. Double checking the belly's tight. When we return to standing, we'll come in for windmills. Toes are going to point to the sky. Reaching the arms up and over. Hinging at the hips. Feel a stretch into the calves. Nice big circles through the shoulders. Hinging the hips back. Double check your toes are also pointing up. Go to wherever you can. Staying really dynamic and fluid in your motion. One more on each side. Nice big circle. And then coming back to center, our hands are going to be on our hips, feet under hips, bringing the hand to the same foot. You can stay here for your quad stretch, or if you're comfortable, you want to warm up your balance, you can hinge. It could be small and touch the ground, rebound, switching sides. So either pausing and holding for about 10 seconds at the most, or hinging to wherever you can. Maybe press the ground away from you, get a rebound. If you're pretty comfortable pressing the ground away from you, double check your heel is touching your hip or getting as close as your flexibility allows you. Let that knee reach up for the sky if you're adding the rebound. Double check your supporting foot is flat. Remember to never overstretch. Find your own range, not necessarily going the same depth that I am going. Last one on each side. Once you come back to center, we'll lower the back knee down. We're going to keep our back toes tucked. I'm going to reach up, sink my hips, maybe look up, holding toes towards my chest. A little slower, I'm going to reach the hips down, press into my back toes, reach up, and then send the hips back, dig the heel down, toes towards my chest, deeper stretch into the calves. Working on a little bit of balance. Sink the hips as you reach. Heavy through both feet. On this next one, just pause at center. Add a twist towards that front thigh. Coming back up. Twist towards the front thigh. Coming back up. Last one, twisting, reaching. And then we'll just switch. Other side. Double checking your back toes are tucked. Feel that back foot pressing down. Reaching. Let the hips sink. Hinge the hips back. So as I sink the hips, pressing them down to the ground, thumbs reach back. Heel is heavy pressing into the ground. A couple more cycles. And again, going at your own pace, not necessarily matching mine. On this next one, we'll make our way into a plank position, hands under shoulders. I'm going to come up onto my toes, belly's tight. My elbows are straight. I lower down into my shoulder girdle, press the floor away from you. My elbows are straight the whole time, so this is not a push-up. I can modify, have my knees on the ground, but I want to go for at least 20 reps, maybe more. I want my shoulders to start burning. Double checking that first knuckles pressing into the mat, into the ground. Belly's tight, pressing through the heels, about one or two more, looking for the shoulders just moving back and forth, and your range is going to be different than mine, but elbows are straight. On this next one, let's lower down. Hands are going to line up to a T. I'm going to pin my shoulders to the ground, and I'll reach up and over, going to wherever I can. See if your palms can press down, see if the shoulders can anchor down. Feel a stretch into the trunk. Let the knee lift up. Our scorpion stretches. Getting a couple in on each side. About one more on each side. Finding once you come back to center, we'll make our way to tabletop. Hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. And in our tabletop position, I'm going to lift the heel of my hand up, return them down. In this position, double check all your knuckles are touching the ground, so even that pinky knuckle is on the floor as you lift the heel of the hand. More intense if it's away from you, less intense if it's closer to the knees. So feel free to come towards the knees, lift the heel of the hand up. Again, more intense as you go further forward. Double check that pinky knuckles on the ground. We just want to warm up our wrist to the center of the hand. We'll pause, flip our palms over. My hands are wider than my shoulders. I'm going to spread my fingers. Same thing, closer to my knees is less tension. Further away is going to be harder. So hands wider than my shoulders, wider than my mat. My nose will line up with my wrist, bending at my elbows, straightening out. My arms are as close as I can to straightening, lowering back down. Dolphin push-ups. When I press, all my fingers, each fingernail is pressing into the ground. Maybe you can't straighten the elbows. Maybe it's just a soft bend. That's okay. Feel free to make it less intense by walking the hands towards the knee. more intense as you go further out. But nose lines up with the wrist, pressing away from you. Last one. And we'll make our way to standing. Right. Today, our workout is going to be 12-minute EMOM. And EMOM is every minute on the minute. I'm going to have our timer set. We're going to have 4 different movements. Our first movement is going to be a combination of movements of our squat with our reverse lunge. And that's going to look like this. I'll squat, whatever your depth is, and I'll step back with one foot. Return for my squat. Step back with my other foot. Return for my squat. Each time my heels are flat and my chest is as tall as possible. Your range is going to vary. It might not be as low as mine. Our second movement is going to be a crab hold or a crab tap. We're going to do animal flow style crab hold and crab tap. My feet are going to be parallel, hip distance apart. My fingers are going to point to the walls, my left and right walls. If I'm flexible, if I'm comfortable, my fingers can point back to the wall behind me. Most important is the shoulder position. The shoulders are going to peel back, and then I'll start to press down before I lift my hips. So this will be our crab hold. We'll hold here for 35 to 45 seconds, up to you, and you'll sink the hips down. The third movement, and I'm just previewing all these movements real quick. Third movement is going to be curtsy lunges. My curtsy lunges are going to be across, back up. Feet are parallel, across, back up. And I'll remind you all these. I'll be doing all of them with you. Our fourth movement is going to be a jumping jack and half burpee. My jumping jack is going to be here. Half burpee is coming down, hopping. Again, I live on the second floor, so I'll be modifying and not jumping for all of these. I'll show you those modifications as well if you're avoiding any jumping in the joints. Feel free to grab water. We are going to start our circuit like another 15, 30 seconds. And then we'll run through it together. If you decide to get any kind of account on Twitch, then you can type questions in the chat. You can end up requesting certain things you want to work on. Decide to join our yoga as well. There's also like a 10, 15-second delay. Okay, so I'm going to start our timer. We're going to start with our squat and reverse lunge combination. Go ahead and find your spot on the mat. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'll be squatting, sinking, and I'll step back, squatting, other side. And I'll keep going your own pace. I'll keep cueing, but keep going at your own challenging pace. In your lunges, double check that front heel's heavy. In your squats, both of my heels are flat. Stepping back, looking for that tall chest. Nice, almost there. Sitting, finding your own challenging speed. We're going to have 3 rounds of this. So losing count in my coordination while I'm talking and cueing. Doing great, you guys. About 5 more seconds. Getting in a couple more reps. And relax, relax. 15-second rest. Our next movement is going to be the crab hold and the crab tap. Our crab position is that animal flow position. Feet are hip distance apart. Fingers pointing to the walls. We're going to lift the hips in 3, 2, 1, and go. So shoulders back. Press away from you. Hips are lifted. Heels are close to the hips, so it looks like a W or an M. And we're just going to hold. If this is easy, we're going to lift at the same time. Tap. Come back down. Lift and tap. If you're pretty flexible, double check that your elbows are softly bent. Double check that your hips are lower than the shoulders and that the shoulders are down the back. Doing great, you guys. Almost there. Another 10 seconds. Making sure the belly's tight and the feet are flat. Maybe notice if you started lifting the toes. 2, 1, and rest. Relax. 15-second rest. We'll stand it up. We have our curtsy lunges. about 5 seconds. Hands can stay on the hips. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go reaching across and back. Double check your feet are both pointing forward when you're in the standing position. When I come across, I'm reaching back, seeing how far my foot can come off to the side with a tall chest. I don't have to go all the way down, especially if you have any knee injuries or anything, but make sure that your front knee lines up with the toes or is further back. Avoid letting the knee travel past the toes. Almost there. Keeping that tall chest, reaching back, we're going to target a lot of glutes in this movement. Home stretch. 2, 1, and rest, relax. Our last movement is going to be our jumping jack and our half burpee. If you're able to add your jump, I encourage you to do so. Otherwise, I'll be doing the modification without the jump. So finding a spot on our floor, we'll go in 3, 2, 1. So regular is jumping jack, coming down, half burpee, jumping jack, half burpee. Modification is going to be 1, 1, coming down, step, 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 coming up, reaching, reaching. See if you can alternate the foot that steps back if you are stepping and modifying. Doing great, you guys. Couple more reps. Finding your own challenging pace. Double check your palms are flat as you hop or step back. Very important, heel of the hand is flat. And relax, relax. That's one round. We're going to do 2 more rounds. We're going to start our second round in about 5 seconds with our squat and our reverse lunge. I'll show you more challenging progressions as we go. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go squat. Step it back. Reverse. Squat. Step it back. If you want to make this more challenging, you can add a jump squat. Then step it back. Make it explosive. Find your own rhythm, your own dynamic rhythm. But otherwise, we'll keep it 1, 1, 1, 1. Almost there. Another 10 seconds of work. Making sure you're even on the feet, the legs. Home stretch. Making sure that front heel is heavy on the lunges. And relax, relax. Our crab hold and tap is coming up. If you have any shoulder injuries and this is really uncomfortable, you can keep your hips on the ground. Keep your hips on the ground. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go lifting the hips. Again, you can add that tap, reaching across. Otherwise, double check your feet line up with the hips. The fingers are pointing to the wall or to the wall behind you. Great job, you guys. Make sure you press down so the chest is lifted. Then the hips lift. If you want to try the tap, see if you can lift at the same time. Tap, come down at the same time. Lifting, tapping, down at the same time. Great job, you guys. And if you're holding, feel free to hold. Just make sure this elbow, both elbows are softly bent. We're not hyperextending. Home stretch. 2, 1, and rest. We have our curtsy lunges, standing. Going in about 5 seconds, I'll show you more challenging progressions. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, go come across. If you want to make it more challenging, you can add the arms, drive the knee up, across, drive it up. But double check your foot's pointing forward, your hips are squared forward. Drive it up, add a little bit of balance. Double check your belly's tight, flex the abs, coming across. If you're able to jump, you can add a hop at the top. Maybe tap the ground, hop at the top, tap the ground. Almost there, about 10 seconds left. Arms can also be out for balance if you want to modify. More challenging if that back knee stays floating. 3, 2, 1, and rest. We have our jumping jack to half burpee, finding our spot on the floor. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So jumping jack, half burpee. I can modify. Tap, tap, step, step. Find your own challenging pace, your own challenging rhythm. We're still going to have one more round left. When I step back in my half burpee into my plank position, I want to make sure the heel of my hands are flat. It's really common for people to lift their wrist, lift the hand, double check it's flat. Support all the joints in the palm all the way up to the shoulders. Almost there, another 10 seconds. If this is easy, you can go a little faster, picking up the pace. 5 seconds left, pumping them out. And relax. Great job, you guys. We have one round left before we move on to our next circuit. 5 seconds before we start our squats and our reverse lunges. Feel free to mix it up, making it multiple reps if you like. Want to make it more challenging. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So squat, first step. You can add the arms, make it more dynamic, get the heart rate up a little bit more. You can add a jump, step it back, step it back. Finding your own challenging pace. Remember, your front heel's flat. We're challenging if that back knee is up on the lunges. On your squats, both heels are heavy. You don't have to go all the way down in your squat, but make sure those heels are flat. Home stretch. 5 seconds left. Getting in a couple more reps. And relax. We have our crab hold and our tap. We'll find ourselves on the floor. Most important is going to be shoulder position. Protect the shoulder girdle. My feet are closer to my hips. My fingers can point out or back. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. When I lift, my shoulders are back first, and push into the arms. By the time my chest lifts up, and then lift the hips up. Let's look at our feet. Double check your feet are flat on the ground. They're not lifting. The toes aren't lifting. And again, if you want to make it more challenging, lift at the same time, tap at the same time. More challenging still if you go a little slower. And keep the hips still. Oftentimes we do this, compensate. Try to keep the hips still as we lift, come back down. Home stretch, 5 seconds. Holding or tapping, pressing the ground away. 2, 1, and rest. We're almost there. We have our curtsy lunges coming up. Finding a spot on the floor. Double check both feet are forward, especially that front foot when we come into our lunge. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. Coming across, reaching. I can reach this way. If I want to make this super challenging, I can add a hop across for our skiers. My chest is tall. I'm looking forward. Hop, hop. Modification, I can stay here. I don't have to go all the way down. It can be small. I can use the arms. Doing great, you guys. We're almost there. Finding your own challenging pace. When I'm in that curtsy, both my hips are squared forward, my front foot's forward. About 10 seconds left. Maybe drive the knee up. You don't want to add the jump. Feel strong across the body. 5 seconds, picking it up. And relax. We've got jumping jacks and our half burpees. I think my mat's moving. We'll go in about 5 seconds. Going in, 3, 2, 1, and go. So jumping jack or tap, tap, half burpees, hop or step. Your own pace. When I do my modification, my arms are strong. I'm pinching. Oops. I'm pinching my shoulders back. Staying strong through the upper body. Doing great, you guys. We're almost done, almost there. When I step forward and back in my plank position, try to alternate the legs, belly to spine, belly to spine. Palms are flat when I'm in my plank. Home stretch. Forgetting this one. Hard to remember everything when I'm saying things and doing stuff. Relax, relax, rest. Whew, okay, we'll rest. We're going to take like a minute or so to break. Feel free to grab some water, maybe wipe some sweat off the floor, off your face. While you're resting, I'll go over our next section. I'd love to be like, how are you guys feeling? And then during our break, you'll be like, doing great, I'm dying. What's the modification for this? That sort of thing. Feel free to eventually type in chat. While we're resting, I'll go over our next section. Our next section is going to be 3 different Tabatas. Tabata is 4 minutes total, 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. It's going to be like 8 rounds. Each section is going to be 2 different movements. Each section is going to be a minute rest. Might be confusing if you're not familiar with my teaching style. I'll break it down. I'll go over with you. But for now, I'll just show you the movements, and then I'll explain as we go. The first movement in our Tabata is going to be high knees. So my high knees, I just want my knees to come up where they line up with my hips, pumping my arms. Again, I'm on the 2nd floor above my landlord, so I'm going to march. This is our modification. If you have any knee injuries or you just can't jump, our second movement is going to be another animal flow movement called Beast Reach. My animal flow movement is going to be first fingers forward, hands under my shoulders. I'll start my tabletop. I'll step it back. And we're just setting up right now. So heels together, knees wide. I press, 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 hips towards my heels. And the Beast Reach is bringing my knee up as I lean forward, knee past my elbow, looking forward. Exhale, bring it back. And I'll alternate. Exhale, look forward, bring it back. And I'll cue you guys through this. We're going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for 4 minutes. Rest a minute. And then we have another Tabata. It's going to be a combination of movements. Sit up to mountain climber, also plank ups. So my sit up to mountain climber is going to be here. I can use the momentum of my arms. Sit up. I'll flip over. 1, 2, 1, 2. Sit my hips down. Sit back up. Flip over. Other side, other side. 1, 2, 1, 2. Little bit of coordination as well. Back and forth, back and forth. Our other movement is going to be plank ups. Knees or toes, but my elbow comes under the shoulder. Elbow under the shoulder. Alternate, hand under the shoulder. And I'll explain that as we go further. After we do that, Tabata will rest again. Then we also have plank jacks and hollow holds. Our plank jacks are going to be hands under shoulders here. And then hollow hold on our back. For the hollow hold, I want as much of my back, especially the low back, to be flat. Here. And I'll show you different modifications. I want to ask if you guys have any questions. This is so weird doing it virtually. Okay. If you do have questions, you can always ask me, I guess, via chat at some point. But otherwise, we're going to start our Tabatas with our high knees and our Beast Reach. It's going to be 20 seconds on, 10 seconds of rest. So go ahead and find your standing position. We'll start our high knees in 3, 2, 1, and go. So knees up, pump in the arms, modify to march, modify to march. But we'll be here for 20 seconds, pump in the arms, pump in the legs, try to get the knees up, super fast, almost there. Another 5 seconds, bring the knees up even higher, pump the arms, 3, 2, 1, and rest. We'll set up for our Beast Reach. First fingers are forward, heels together, knees wide. We're going to bring the hips towards the heels, arms are long, 2, 1, and go. So knees towards the elbow, look forward, back, heels together, and I'm pressing in my arms. When I switch legs, I look forward, coming back. So keep going at your own pace. I'm pushing in my arms. My knees are off the ground in this position. 2, 1, and rest. Nice. Let's stand up. High knees. Second round. Going in. 3, 2, 1, and go. So high knees, super fast. Or marching if you want to modify. If you're marching to modify, let's flex the abs. If the hips can tuck just a little, get a little bit deeper in the core, in the belly, bringing the knees up all the way. If you're marching or sprinting, let's sprint. Let's go 3, 2, 1, and rest, relax. Let's do our beast reach. So setting up, first fingers forward, My knees are wide, arms are long, my knees are off the ground. 2, 1, and go. So here, looking forward, coming back down. When I switch, I'll look forward, keep the leg close to my body. My head tucks when I bring my hips to my heels. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Halfway. 2 more rounds of each. Stand it up for high knees. Finding our spot on the ground. Going in. 3, 2, 1, and go. Pumping the legs, pumping the arms. Bring the knees up. Great job, you guys. Maybe bring the knees up even higher. You can always march. But if you're comfortable, we've got 10 seconds left here. Let's sprint, pump the arms, bring the knees up. Super fast. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Great job, you guys. We have our beast reach. My first fingers are forward. Double check those knees are lifted when your hips are back. I'm going to stick to just the right side on this round so you can see. Going in 3, 2, 1, and go. So here, look forward. I'm going to do one side. You alternate. Here. Watch the path that my leg travels. Heels together. Looking forward. Head tucks in. 2, 1, and rest. Last round, high knees. 5 seconds. Going in. 3, 2, 1, and go. Pumping the knees, pumping the arms. Find your own challenging speed. It's our last round. If you want to make it even more challenging, let's do a 10-second sprint as fast as you can. Bring the knees up super high, super high. 5 seconds. Going a little faster. 2, 1, and rest. Great job. We have our beast reach. I'm going to do it just on my left side. Continue to alternate. I just want you guys to be able to see the path that my leg travels as I move. First fingers forward. 3, 2, 1, and go. Looking forward. Keep the leg close. Hips and heels close. Squeeze the thigh in. My knee goes past my elbow. Reaching back. Great job, you guys. Last one. Reach forward, look forward. Sinking back. Relax, relax. Whew. Resting. 1 minute rest, 1 minute rest. Feel free to grab water. While we're resting, our next one's going to be that combination of movements. Our sit-up to mountain climber, and then plank ups. For our sit-up to mountain climber, I'll sit up, flip over to like my left side, do like 2 mountain climbers on both legs, come back down into my sit up, flip over to the other side. Mountain climbers, about 2 on each leg, then plank ups. I think you should be able to see plank ups. We still have about 20 seconds of rest left. You can yell at your TV and be like, I'm doing great. Okay, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. We're going to start with our sit-ups and our mountain climbers. So finding a spot on the floor with our back. Oh, I had to say one more thing about sit-ups. For our sit-ups, lowest progression is going to be legs straight. This is our lowest progression with our legs straight. It gets more challenging as you bend the knees. So more challenging here. It's going to be most challenging if I'm here and I sit. I can use my arms. We're going to go for speed in this. Of course, flexing the abs to support the spine. But mostly speed. So use the arms unless you want to make it more challenging and go no arms. I'll remind you as we give you the option. But let's start on our back. We'll start with our sit-up. So flip over, come into your mountain climber. We'll go in 3, 1, and go. Here, sitting up. I'll flip over, hands under shoulders, 1, 2, 1, 2. Sit my hips down. Sit up. Other side, flipping, knees, 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 knees. Sit down, coming on my back. Sit back up, and relax. That was it. That was 20 seconds. We have 10 seconds to our plank ups. Hands are under my shoulders, and I'm just coming onto my forearms, alternating. Going in, 3, 2, 1, and go. So elbows, elbows, palms, palms. Double check your hands are under the shoulders when you're at that top position. And I'm picking my entire arm up. More challenging if my hips are still. So avoid the hip swiveling. 2, 1, and rest, relax. Got 3 more rounds of that. So laying on our back for our sit-ups. 3, 2, 1, and go reaching. And I'll flip. Hands under shoulders. Pump the knees, pump the knees. Sitting back down. Use the arms. We're going for speed. We want to get the heart rate up. Switching, flipping. Nice. Keep going. Sit down. Flip. Pump the knees fast. Your own challenging pace, but maybe pick it up. And rest. Cool. Plank ups. I'll show you modifications for plank ups on this round. We'll go in 3, 1, and go. So modification, knees here. Feel free to stay on the toes. When I'm here, make sure you alternate the arm that presses down. First, alternate the arm that comes up. So I'm not doing all just one side. Great job, you guys. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Halfway, halfway. We have 2 more rounds. Same thing. Sit up to mountain climber. If you find that you're doing more reps on one side, start on the opposite side this time. Going in 3, 2, 1, and go. So sit up, flip over, mountain climber, mountain climber. Sit up, mountain climber, mountain climber. In my mountain climber, double check your wrists are flat. Your hands are flat. Your hands are under the shoulder when you pump the knees. Coming around. 2, 1, and rest, relax. Plank ups. Finding ourselves in our plank position. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. If you want to make it more challenging this round, let's go single leg. Try to square the hips. Double check that top foot is flexed. When I'm in my low plank position, my hands are parallel, no triangles. Parallel, no triangles. 2, 1, and rest. Great job, you guys. Last round coming up. Sit-ups to mountain climber. Maybe start your sit-up to mountain climber on your non-dominant side just to even it out. Going in, 3, 2, 1, and go sit up. Come around. Pump the knees twice. Sit. Doing great, you guys. Find your own challenging pace. It's our last time here. 5-second sprint. Pick it up, pick it up. Fast knees, fast feet. 2, 1, and rest. For our plank up last round, if you did single leg, we'll do the other side. I'll show you modification if you still want to try single leg. 3, 2, 1, and go. So single leg, or you can keep that knee on the ground with your other leg floating. Double check the belly's tight and the back is flat. Oftentimes, you let the back arch. But here, single leg, coming down, hand under the shoulder, press through the heel, trying to square the hips. 2, 1, and rest, relax. Great job, you guys. We'll rest. 1 minute rest. Feel free to grab some water. We have 1 more Tabata, and then we'll cool it down and stretch. While we're resting, we'll go over our last section. It's going to be plank jacks and a hollow hold. For our plank jacks, hands are under the shoulders. My feet are going to hop in and out. When I hop in and out, I can modify just like our standing jacks. So here I can always step, 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 step. So the next one is hollow hold. Our hollow hold, we want to make sure our low back is flat. At any time your low back is arching, we're just going to lift the legs up. So avoid that arch in the back. We'll just lift the legs up higher. So if you're here and you're like super arching and your legs are down here, we're going to just lift the legs, and you can notice how lifting my legs automatically starts flattening my back, even if it means coming to here, because then my back will be flat. And we just want to support the low. So this is our last Tabata. We'll start with our plank jacks. Hands are under the shoulders. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So hands on the shoulders. I'm going to hop, hop, hop. I can also step, 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 step. Double check your elbow creases are forward, your belly's tight, and I can step or hop, up to you, your own challenging pace. Feel the shoulders move down the back. 3, 2, 1, and rest. We have hollow hold on our back. So again, looking for that flat back, especially in the low spine. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So hollow hold, squeeze the heels, lift the shoulders. I can modify and come up into my boat pose, whether my toes are touching or my legs are lifting. But double check your chest is lifted. So any of those progressions. 2, 1, and rest. Almost there. We have our plank jacks going in. 3, 2, 1, and go. Hands under shoulders. Feet hop in and out. I can also step. Notice if your hands are in front of the shoulders, double check the hands are under the shoulders, Getting in a couple more reps. Hug the belly into the spine. Move the shoulders down the back. 2, 1, and rest. Hollow hold coming up. We'll go in. 3, 2, 1, and go. I can also modify and bend the knees. I can have my palms up. I can have my legs squeezing, squeeze the heels together, but make sure the shoulders are lifted. I have that neutral neck, so there's a space between my chin and my chest. Breathing and relax. Halfway. We're almost done for the day. 5 seconds to our plank jacks. Hands are under the shoulders. 3, 2, 1, and go. More challenging if you want to lean further forward so the hands are under the chest. Pumping the knees in and out. And again, you can step. See how still the hips can be as you move side to side or as you hop. And relax. Hollow hold coming up on our back. Going in. 3, 2, 1, and go. So again, I can be in that full hollow hold, heels hugging, thighs squeezing, or modify here, modify here. I can also modify here, my toes touching and my chest lifted. Feel the shoulders move down the back, home stretch. Squeeze the thighs to strengthen the inner legs, and relax. Last round coming up. Going in about 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. Plank jacks. This is our last round, hop or step. Maybe lean forward. Let's go a little faster. 10 seconds left. Picking up the pace. Flex the abs. Pick it up, pick it up. As many reps as you can. 5 seconds. Lean forward, 2, 1, and rest. Great job. Hollow hold. 5 seconds. Any variation. I'll show you the lowest modification. 2, 1, and go. So this is our lowest modification. Otherwise, find your most challenging progression. Hold it. Double check the knees are squeezing. Chest is lifted. Last 10 seconds. Flex the abs. Squeeze the belly into the spine. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Great job, you guys. Feel free to grab water. We're going to stretch. We're going to cool it down. Let's take a minute to break just to grab water, and then we'll stretch a bit. How are you guys feeling? It's weird. A lot of things that I normally say in my regular classes, the same virtually. Still trying to sort all those out. So while our heart rate's down, let's go ahead, find a spot on the floor. We've done a lot of shoulders today for our stretch. Let's come into down dog. Pressing the hips up, bend the knees, take out the hips. And let's take 3 big breaths here. Middle fingers are forward, belly's tight. Press the floor away from you. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, open mouth. Releasing some heat. 2 more times. Belly's tight. Inhale. Exhale, open mouth. That is one more big breath. Out the right leg to the sky. Exhale, pigeon pose, right knee towards the wrist. Let's flex the front ankle as much as you can. Point the back toes. Roll the right hip back. Roll the left hip closed. All on the exhale before you walk the hand. Bowing it down. Go to where you can, whether that's here or if you can go a little lower. We'll be here for several breaths. Variation in your practice or a stretch. If this hurts the knee, then you can do a reclined pigeon to modify, interlacing the fingers, having the right ankle on the side to modify. That's if that hurts the knee. Find a stretch in the right glute, right hip. About 3 more big breaths. First fingers forward. Middle fingers forward, Frame the front knee, tuck the back toes, the hips to the sky. Any movement that feels good. Want to do any kind of leg circle. Pump the knees. When you're ready, inhale the left leg up. Exhale, bring the left knee towards the left wrist. Flex the front ankle and point the back toes. Roll the left hip. Roll the right hip close. Looking for that tall spine. Walk it forward. Find wherever you can. Whether that's on the elbows or bowing it all the way down. Again, if this is pressure on the front knee or any of the points, always lay on the back. Take it into reclined pigeon with your left foot or ankle on the right thigh. Hands can be underneath the right thigh or on top of the right shin. As you exhale, hug it close. Never forcing any stretch. About 3 more big breaths in either of these progressions for a stretch into the hips. Every exhale, just feeling present in this. After your last exhale, we'll release. Come into a seated position, bringing the soles of the feet together. Not the soles of the feet, legs together. Close toes to the sky, finding even pressure in the bones. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale to fold. Walking the hands out, going to wherever you can, whether that's like by the knees or a little further forward. Inhale to a tall spine. Press into the hips as you sink. Feel a stretch into the hamstrings. Maybe let the head hang heavy. Release the neck and shoulders. Breaths into the body. A lot of legs and shoulders for today. We'll stretch a little bit of all that out. Stretch into the turn. Let's hook the feet around, laying on our stomach. Come into Sphinx pose or Sphinx pose. My elbows are under my shoulders. My palms are trying to be flat as they can be. My forearms are parallel. I want to squeeze my heels together, hips down, press my feet into the ground. And as I inhale, I want to just pull my chest forward, lift side, the neutral neck, ground away from me with forearms. Feel a stretch into the back, maybe the front of the body, or gently pull forward through the arms. the legs angle down, press the hips into the ground, press the top of the feet down. To return, chest to the floor. Let's make our way to child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide. I'm going to walk my hands out. I'll close. Heels can touch, bowing the forehead down to the ground. Staying here for a couple more big breaths. Trying to sink the hips to the ankles. Length across the arms and the trunk. Feel free to softly close the eyes. Exhale, walk both hands to the left. Double check the shoulders are in their pockets. Feel a stretch along the ribs. Breathe a little deeper into the belly. The opposite side. Feel a stretch along the side body. Try to anchor the hips towards the heels. Letting the ribs expand. Melt the hands to center. Stay here or thread the left arm under the right for a gentle stretch in the shoulders. Let the head relax and hang heavy. Maybe peek under the right arm. The right arm's going to be straight, straightening through the elbow. One more big breath. The center. Opposite side. Thread the right arm underneath. Draw the left hand forward. Double check the shoulders are in their pockets. You can let the head relax on the mat. Big breath into the hips, the legs, the inner thighs. Feel a gentle stretch into the shoulders. Maybe peek under the left arm. Turn to center. We'll bring the legs together. Relax. Great job today, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's our first body weight workout today.